Have you ever said yes when you really wanted to say no? Maybe your friend asked for help and you were tired, but you said yes anyway. Maybe your boss gave you extra work and you didn't want to look lazy, so you said yes again. And later, you sat alone, feeling tired, angry, or even sad. We all do this. We say yes because we want to be nice. We say yes because we don't want to hurt others. But sometimes, when we always say yes to everyone, we forget to say yes to ourselves. This is the story of Emily, a kind girl from the USA who loved helping people. She said yes to everyone until one day she learned something powerful, that sometimes saying no can be the most loving thing you do for yourself and for others. So listen carefully and learn English through Emily's story, because by the end, you might start saying no too and finally feel free. Part 1. The Helper. Emily lived in a small, quiet town in the USA. She worked in a small office just 10 minutes from her home. Every morning, she woke up early, made a cup of coffee, and told herself, "Today I will be kind." And she really was. Everyone in the office knew Emily as the nice girl. If someone dropped their papers, Emily helped. If someone forgot lunch, Emily shared hers. If someone was sad, she listened. She always said yes to everyone. Her boss, Mr. Clark, liked her very much. Whenever there was extra work, he called, "Emily, can you finish this today?" And even when Emily felt tired, she smiled and said, "Of course." Her coworkers often said, "Emily, you're amazing. You always help everyone." She smiled, but inside she felt a little heavy. After work, she often wanted to go home and rest, but her phone always rang. Her friends called, "Emily, can you help me with something? Emily, can you come to my house? Emily, can you help me move my things?" And Emily, being kind and soft-hearted, always said, "Yes, sure." At first, she didn't notice how tired she was becoming. She thought, "If I say no, they will think I'm rude." She didn't want anyone to feel bad. She didn't want to disappoint people. So she kept saying yes, and yes, and yes again. Soon her days became full of other people's needs. She cooked for her friends, finished her coworkers' projects, and even helped her cousin babysit on weekends. Her time was never her own. Her weekends disappeared, her evenings felt short, and her energy was gone. One Friday night, Emily sat alone in her kitchen. The house was quiet. There were dirty dishes in the sink and papers on the table. She looked around and sighed. She wanted to read her favorite book, or maybe just sit and do nothing. But she couldn't because she had promised to help her friend Lisa move furniture early the next morning. She felt her chest tighten. For the first time, she whispered softly, "I'm tired." She looked at her reflection in the window. Her smile was small, weak, and tired. She asked herself, "Why do I always say yes?" No one could hear her, but the question stayed in her heart. Everyone liked Emily, that was true. But Emily didn't like how she felt anymore. She was kind, but she was empty. She helped everyone, but no one helped her. And deep down, she began to wonder, is it really kind to always say yes, even when it hurts me? She didn't know it yet, but this question was the start of a big change in her life. Part 2. The Breaking Point. It was Thursday morning, and the week had already been hard. Emily had a big project due at work. She stayed late every day, typing reports, answering emails, and fixing problems. Her boss, Mr. Clark, kept saying, "Emily, I know you can handle it." And Emily did. She always did. but her eyes were tired, her back hurt, and she dreamed of sleeping all weekend. That afternoon, her phone buzzed. It was her best friend, Sarah. "Hey, Emily, I'm planning a big birthday party on Saturday. Can you help me? You're so good at organizing." Emily looked at her long to-do list. Her project wasn't finished. Her laundry wasn't done. She just wanted to rest. But her mouth said, "Of course I'll help," before her heart could stop her. Friday night, after work, Emily went to Sarah's house. The kitchen was full of noise and laughter. Balloons, cakes, and decorations were everywhere. Everyone was happy, except Emily. She tried to smile, but her body felt heavy. She cooked, cleaned, and stayed up until 2 a.m. making cupcakes. When she finally got home, she only slept for 3 hours. The next morning, she woke up late and ran to work. Her head hurt, her eyes were red, and she could barely think. At her desk, she opened her laptop and started typing. But something felt wrong. In her tired state, she made a big mistake in her report. She sent the wrong file to a client. An hour later, her boss called her into the office. "Emily," he said, his voice sharp, "this report is all wrong. What happened?" Emily's heart sank. She tried to explain, but the words didn't come. Her hands were shaking. "I'm sorry, Mr. Clark. I was just tired." He sighed. "Emily, you do so much for everyone, but you need to slow down. You can't do everything." Those words hit her hard. She nodded quietly, holding back tears. At lunchtime, she went outside and sat on a bench. The city moved fast around her, cars honking, people rushing, phones ringing. But inside her heart, everything felt still. She thought about the party, the cupcakes, the late nights, the mistakes. She thought about all the times she said yes when she wanted to say no. Her phone buzzed again. It was Sarah. "Hey, Emily, thank you so much for last night. Everyone loved the party. You're the best." Emily looked at the message and smiled sadly. She didn't feel like the best. She felt empty. She put her phone down and whispered to herself, "Why do I always say yes? Why can't I just stop?" For the first time, she didn't have an answer. She just sat there, tired and quiet, listening to the sound of her own heartbeat. Something inside her was changing, slowly but surely. And soon, she would learn that one small word, no, could change everything. Part 3. The Lesson. It was Saturday morning, and the sun was shining through Emily's window. But Emily didn't feel the sunshine. She felt heavy, slow, and sad. Her body wanted to rest, but her mind kept thinking about work, mistakes, and the word yes. She made a cup of tea and went outside to sit on her small porch. Her neighbor, Mr. Johnson, was watering his plants next door. He was an old man with kind eyes and a calm smile. Every morning he said hello to everyone, but today he stopped when he saw Emily. "Good morning, Emily," he said. "You look tired. Rough week?" Emily sighed. "Very rough, Mr. Johnson. I made a mistake at work and I feel awful." He nodded slowly. "We all make mistakes. But you look more than tired. You look empty." Emily looked down. "I just say yes to everything. I help everyone, but now I'm tired all the time." Mr. Johnson smiled gently. "Ah, the curse of the kind heart." She laughed a little, even though it wasn't funny. He walked over and sat beside her. "Let me tell you something I learned a long time ago," he said.
When you say yes to everyone, you are really saying no to yourself. Emily looked at him confused. What do you mean? He pointed to the flowers in his garden. See these plants? I water them every morning. But if I give all the water to my neighbor's garden and keep none for mine, what will happen to my flowers? They'll die, Emily said softly. Exactly, Mr. Johnson said. You can't help others if you're empty inside. A kind no is still kind. It's honest. It means you care about your own garden, too. Emily stayed quiet for a moment. The idea was new to her. She always thought saying no was rude, selfish, or cold. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was healthy. She looked at the flowers again. They were bright, strong, and alive. They looked peaceful, like they were taken care of. Do you ever say no, Mr. Johnson? She asked. He chuckled. Oh, I say no all the time. I say no to things that take my peace. No to things that steal my time. And because of that, I can say yes to the things that truly matter. Emily smiled, but it was a small, thoughtful smile. She didn't have all the answers yet, but something inside her shifted. For the first time, she felt like maybe, just maybe, it was okay to protect her time, her heart, her peace. Before going back inside, she looked at Mr. Johnson and said, Thank you. I think I needed to hear that. He smiled and said, You're welcome, Emily. Remember, sometimes the most loving thing you can say is no. That night, Emily went to bed early. For the first time in a long while, she didn't feel guilty for resting. And that simple peace felt like the beginning of something new.
Part 4. The Change. The next week, Emily decided to try something new. Mr. Johnson's words stayed in her mind like a soft echo. You can't help others if you're empty inside. On Monday morning, she stood in front of the mirror before work. She looked at her reflection, the same tired eyes, but this time something was different. She whispered, Today I'll take care of me. At the office, her coworker Jason came to her desk. Hey, Emily, he said with a friendly smile. I have too much work. Can you help me finish my report? Emily opened her mouth to say yes, but then she remembered Mr. Johnson's garden. She took a slow breath and said softly, Sorry, Jason, not this time. I really need to finish my own work today. Jason looked a little surprised. Oh, okay, he said, and walked away. Emily's heart was racing. She felt nervous and a little guilty. But as the hours passed, she realized something amazing. She finished her work early. She had time to eat lunch in peace. She even took a short walk outside and felt the sun on her face. It felt strange, but good. That evening, her friend Lisa called. Emily, can you come help me with decorations tonight? I know it's last minute, but you're so good at it. Emily smiled into the phone. She liked Lisa, but she was tired and had planned to rest. She thought for a moment and said, Lisa, I love helping you, but I really need some time to relax tonight. Maybe I can come tomorrow. There was a short silence. Emily held her breath. Then Lisa said, Oh, okay, no problem. Take a break. You deserve it. Emily hung up the phone and sat there in quiet surprise. No one got angry. No one stopped liking her. The world didn't fall apart. She just felt free. That week, Emily said no 2 more times. once to a coworker, once to a friend. Each time, her voice was a little stronger. Each time, her guilt became a little smaller. She started to notice small things again: the sound of birds in the morning, the taste of her coffee, the way the sunset painted her window gold. She wasn't rushing all the time anymore. At work, her boss noticed too. "Emily," Mr. Clark said one day, "you've been more focused lately. Whatever you're doing, keep it up." She smiled. "Thank you. I'm learning to say no sometimes." He nodded. "That's smart. Balance is important." Emily realized people didn't just like her because she said yes. They respected her because she worked hard, cared deeply, and now respected herself too. And that night, when she lay in bed, she smiled for real. Not the tired smile she used to wear, but a peaceful one, because for the first time, her no finally meant yes to her own happiness. Part 5. The Power of No. Months passed, and Emily's life began to look different. Not in a big, loud way, but in small, peaceful ways. Her mornings were calm now. She woke up early, made her coffee, and watched the sunlight touch the trees outside her window. No rushing, no guilt, no heavy feeling in her chest. At work, she smiled more. Not the polite, tired smile she used to wear, but a real one. She still helped others, but only when she truly had the time. If she couldn't, she simply said, "I'm sorry, I can't right now." And something beautiful happened. People didn't stop liking her. In fact, many respected her more. Some even started saying no, too. One day, her friend Sarah invited her to another party. "Emily, you have to come early and help me decorate again." Emily laughed softly. "Sarah, I'll come, but this time I'll just bring the cake. You've got this." Sarah smiled and said, "Fair enough. I'm proud of you. You used to never say no." That evening, at the party, Emily looked around. People were laughing, the music was loud, and she felt light. She realized she wasn't trying to please everyone anymore. She was just being herself, kind, honest, and calm. Later that night, she walked home under the soft streetlights. Her phone buzzed with messages, work emails, friends asking for help, reminders. She smiled, put the phone on silent, and looked up at the stars. For the first time, she didn't feel guilty for not answering right away. She felt free. On Sunday morning, she went to visit Mr. Johnson. He was sitting on his porch, as always, with his cup of tea. "Emily," he said warmly, "you look brighter these days." She laughed. "I think your advice worked." He smiled. "Ah, the power of no." Emily nodded. "It's funny," she said. "All my life I thought saying no would make people hate me, but it didn't. It just made me happier and stronger." Mr. Johnson looked at his garden and said, "When you water your own garden first, your flowers bloom, and everyone around you sees their beauty." Emily smiled. "I like that. My garden is finally growing." They sat quietly, listening to the sound of birds. The world felt simple again. She didn't need to do everything or be everything for everyone. She just needed to be enough for herself. As she walked back home, she whispered to herself, "Saying no doesn't make me unkind. It makes me honest. It makes me free." And from that day on, whenever life asked too much from her, she remembered this truth. Sometimes the most powerful yes you can give is the one you give to yourself.